What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to another video. We have got a lot of NASCAR news to cover in today's episode. So much news, from controversy to drivers going to be re-signing with organizations to fans going to be allowed to be back at the stands in a certain capacity to drivers getting one-off opportunities. There is a lot of stuff to go into on today's episode. Let's jump straight into it. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace is expected to renew his newest contract with Richard Petty Motorsports for the 2021 season. Here is what I think his name is Anthony Mernstein, who's the president of RPM, had to say about him. We plan on running Bubba in the famous 43 next year and hopefully for many years to come. Bubba, in his own special way, is a great ambassador for the sport. Let me just say this for the record. 2020 for Bubba Wallace has been the best start he has ever had. Yes, he's had a few races in 2020 where that they've not gotten the finishes they deserve, but they have had races where they've shown top 15 speed and at times top 10 speed. I think Bubba Wallace, in my honest opinion, has an outside shot to make the playoffs in the 2020 season. Hopefully the performance does pick up for them because they do deserve to get better finishes than they have gotten here in 2020. But yeah, pretty cool that Bubba Wallace is going to be staying in the 43. And another prediction that I got right for my 2021 NASCAR Silly Seasons predictions. I predicted Bubba would be going and staying in the 43. I didn't expect anything to change. I don't expect anything to change anytime soon. I expect Bubba to be having like these one-year extensions, unless, of course, money dries up at RPM. But good to see that Bubba Wallace is going to still be driving with Richard Petty Motorsports for the 2021 season and for many years to come in NASCAR, because I think he has a lot of potential in the sport. On to the next story, we're going to be talking about the Atlanta ratings. So according to Adam Stern, Fox Sports earned a 3.97 million viewers for the Atlanta race this past Sunday on Fox. Last year's race in Atlanta actually earned a 5.1 million viewers, but it was the second race of the season, and that date traditionally has big numbers coming 1 week after Daytona 500. Now, some of you are going to think that these numbers are really, really bad. These numbers are actually, in my opinion, they are really, really good. To see that we almost have 4 million viewers for this race in June, that's impressive. And I guarantee you, people actually quit watching this race because while the race didn't suck, I guarantee if this race was shorter, they probably would have gotten up to 4 to 5 million viewers. I'm not expecting like 10 million viewers for any of these races. If that's your expectations, you're kind of a dumbass. But Atlanta, the race I didn't think was great, but 3.95 to 7 million viewers, I think that is a major, major win for NASCAR because almost 4 million people watch. That is really, really awesome to see. On to the next report, and this is another Adam Stern report, and this is going to be a controversial one. Confederate Flags. Yeah, NASCAR is actively considering a change to its Confederate flag policy per sources, as call grow for the series to permanently ban the symbols from its facilities. The Confederate flag is a very controversial thing. My opinion is, I don't really have an opinion on the Confederate flag. Some people are, in my opinion, are going to be mad that the Confederate flag is going away. Other people are going to be happy that the Confederate flag is going away. I just really don't care what happens, to be quite honest with you. I really never completely cared for the Confederate flag, nor have I been against people removing it. I don't really have an opinion on the Confederate flag. I really don't. So if NASCAR does it, it is what it is. I know that people are definitely offended by the Confederate flag, including people in the African-American community, and definitely some other people as well are offended. I can definitely see why, because of all the slavery and the racism that can bring. But again, it's just, I don't have much an opinion on the Confederate flag, so it doesn't really affect me. It really doesn't. On to the next story, we are going to be talking about David Starr. Now, David Starr, not that long ago, actually lost his ride with the JDM Motorsports team because of sponsorship problems. Well, David Starr is actually going to be running the number 53 car for Rick Rowe Racing at Martinsville. Good to see that for David Starr, especially after, he lost his opportunity to run full-time in the Xfinity Series. He actually kind of was doing not too bad in the Xfinity Series. He wasn't winning races, but JD Motorsports is not a really, really great organization to begin with. So to see that David Starr is going to get an opportunity, the 53 car is really good. Do I expect much out of this? No. Because again, Rick Webb Racing cars are slow. It doesn't matter who you put in it. I think Austin Terrier's a really great driver, and he's really never done much in those cars. So I don't expect too much from David Starr because he's driving not a great car. And we'll have to see if the race even happens to begin with. Now, hopefully, looking at the weather, it's looking more promising. We'll get the race in. But hopefully, because if they don't have this race, it'll be like a week from now. Or David Starr will probably run at Homestead. Who really knows? But good to see that David Starr is going to be running at Martinsville with the 53 team. On to the next story, and really more awesome news. Chase Purdy. Remember that guy named Chase Purdy who was part of the NASCAR Next Class? He will actually be racing 5 Truck Series races for GMS in the number 24 truck. The 5 races he will run are Pocono, Kentucky, both Kansas races, and Talladega. In my honest opinion, this is actually really, really exciting. I think Chase Purdy has a lot of capabilities and talent. He was really pretty successful in the ARCA series. Did he win a lot of races? No, but he was pretty successful in there. And when you got a guy who actually has talent, who's capable of driving these cars, you're going to probably see a guy go out there and do very well. I don't think he's going to win like many races. I don't even know if he's going to win a race at all. But I think you'll see him in the top 5, in a top 10 in these races. I'm really excited to see what Chase Purdy can do in these 5 races. So anyway, back to the major reports. And here's some really, really awesome news. Now, while this is not completely every single NASCAR race that we're going to be seeing, the Dixie Vodka 400 at Homestead Miami Speedway and the Talladega, the Geico 500 at Talladega, will actually end up having fans. Now, 1,000 South Florida service members are going to be allowed in at Homestead, so anyone that's part of like service, I think it's like U.S. Army, National Guard, people who like first responders, all that stuff, are going to be allowed into the stands. And for Talladega, 5,000 fans, first come, first serve, and it's mainly going to be people kind of from the Talladega area, which that is really, really exciting. And let me just say this, I am really happy. Yes, while it's not like they're letting everybody back in the stands. See, yes, some fans are going to be allowed back in the stands, albeit not a lot. But to see that there's not a lot of fans that are going to be back, fans that are going to be allowed in the stands, I think it's really awesome to see that we're going to see fans on TV. Now, some people are going to be like, well, there's not a lot of fans in the stands. Well, yeah, because of the COVID-19 virus, there's not a lot of fans. But this is, I think, NASCAR's way to start getting fans back in attendance. Now, I'm wondering if this does go over well and there's no big spike from COVID-19 for the races, which I don't expect there to be because they're going to have all the social distancing rules. You'll have to wear masks if you're going to this races. You'll have to do all the gloves, all that other stuff, and it'll be a lot of tough screening. But to see that we're going to have some sort of fans allowed back in the stands, oh, I'm so happy. That was good news to hear when I got off work today. To hear that fans, and I mean that's not a lot, but see that fans are going to be allowed back in the stands. It is a relief and we're just beginning to see NASCAR going back to normalcy. I mean, NASCAR's been on the verge of going back to normalcy. We're starting to see some things happen. We're actually seeing a practice session for the first time when we do go to Talladega, so there's a little bit there. I expect they're in the Xfinity Series race for the Indianapolis Road Course race. Granted, no fans are allowed there yet. But the question is now, what other races will we get fans? Now, New Hampshire is not confirmed. They might end up having fans. I do expect as we get closer to the playoffs, races maybe like maybe Dover might get some fans. I'm talking about maybe Michigan I don't really know about. But Daytona is a race that I expect there to be some sort of fans. Texas Motor Speedway, I definitely think that will have 20%, 25% capacity. So we're on the road back to having fans allowed back in the stands, guys. Albeit it won't be completely normal to the end of this year, but we are slowly progressing. And it's been a lot quicker than what some people thought. I mean, they said a lot of jobs were going to be lost throughout this. They actually had a huge gain in jobs, which that's real exciting. But yeah, fans being allowed back in the stands, that is really, really exciting. Now we get into the next story. We're going to be talking about a very interesting topic. Choose cones. There is a rumor that has been going around and a question about choose cones. Denny Hamlin, and according to a report from Matt Weaver, says he might expect them for the 2021 season. Now, before doing this episode, I actually do a little bit of research on what the choose cones actually would end up providing. Now, what the choose cones provide is that the people can actually choose where they end up restarting. So it's like where they choose their lane on where they're going to restart, which I think that's really, really good. Because the problem is that some of these races, I'm not saying every single race, we would have a choose cone. But certain races like Bristol and Atlanta would be prime examples. I would give a perfect example to Jimmy Johnson, for instance. Jimmy Johnson, in my opinion, had a really fast car at Bristol International Speedway. But he got such bad restarts, and he really never could get an opportunity to go out there and go win because he got restarted on bad positions. If this choose cone rule was implemented, he probably would have had a shot to go and beat Brad Keselowski for the race win. Yes, he got third place, but imagine if he had chosen the right lane. Jimmy Johnson, in my opinion, would have probably won this race. So I am definitely in more favor of choose cones. I'm not saying that every race needs to have a choose cone, but more on the short tracks, and I like Atlanta Motor Speedway. Those are good options to have a choose cone. And yes, let's add some choose cones. On to the next story. We're going to be talking about Bubba Wallace's paint scheme. And yes, looking at the paint scheme, it is very controversial. It does say Black Lives Matter. What makes this seem controversial is the Black Lives Matter on the car. It is very controversial. Black Lives Matter has had a lot of controversy and tendencies in the past. And I don't want to get into political opinions about Black Lives Matter. I've had some personal opinions on it. I just don't want to talk about it here. I actually, however, do like this car. Granted, some people are definitely not a fan of this car, and I can see why a lot of boomers especially are upset. I'm not upset by the car and triggered by the car. I know that some of you are going to be, but I don't have anything against it. It looks cool. I think it's going to shine well on the racetrack. Hopefully some people, they don't wreck the car because that would be considered racist. That's just my opinion on the car. I like it. It is really, really cool. Now, we get into the final story, and here's some really bad news. Well, remember that Tony Stewart was supposed to be running the Indianapolis road course race for the Xfinity Series. Well, according to Jenna Fryer, Tony Stewart is no longer going to be racing the Xfinity Series race at Indy. The logistics for a one-off were too much for him. Also, the point was lost for Stewart to entertain a home crowd with no fans. It makes kind of sense. I get it. It does suck because I wanted to see Tony Stewart possibly race again because it's been a couple years. It's been, since 2016 was the last time he raced at a home set. So it's been 4 years. But I understand why they're not going to do it. I just wish Indy would have had fans in general. I don't understand how Indianapolis could not have had fans. That blew my mind. But it makes sense why Tony's not going to run. It blows because I was really wanting to see Tony run this. Because Tony, in my opinion, would have had a shot to go out and win this race. It makes sense, so I get it. It sucks, but hopefully Tony maybe later in this year will actually attempt to run some races here very soon. So yeah, that is all the NASCAR news that I had for today on this channel. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications on so you can be notified when a video does go live on my channel. The support has been incredibly insane. We are getting very, very close to 225 subscribers here on YouTube, and I can't wait to bring you guys more better content here in the future. The content I know can get better, and I promise you guys to bring the best content here on this channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Links in the description below for that, and comment your thoughts on today's video. What do you think of Bubba Wallace getting re-signed with Richard Petty Motorsports? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about the Confederate Flags controversy? Are you against Confederate Flags? Or are you for Confederate Flags? Or are you kind of in the middle or kind of neutral in the situation? Let me know in the comments below. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.